to moderate our third PWG sponsored educational workshop. I'm Francie Anderson, your leadership team educational chair and membership and chair of our education in the Walnut Creek chapter. And in my day job, I'm your beauty ambassador and leadership coach with Mary Kay. So let's get started with social media made simple. Do you like that important word at the end, simple?
Francie, real quick before we start, are we recording?
Diane, I believe is recording.
Okay. All right.
Diane?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we won't poof into the internet. We will have it recorded. So let's get started with our introductions. If we can have that slide, please. First of all, and this is in order of presenting, our very first presenter today is Angela Kerrigan. And Angela is owner and digital strategist at a Create company. She has over 15 years experience working in digital and all things internet for a Fortune 20 company. She now takes her big company knowledge and helps small to medium-sized companies achieve their business goals for optimizing their digital presence and tools. She's provided social media strategy to a number of her clients, and she runs social media for her own business, as well as a nonprofit organization. Angela understands using social media as a tool to drive conversion into an overall marketing and business strategy. Angela has been a member of the Concord chapter since December of last year. And then presenting second will be Megan Dowdy. And Megan is the owner and operator of Bubbles and Brew, San Francisco Bay, a unique mobile bar business serving at any event or party that you can dream up. Her background is in retail, from in-store sales to retail design to corporate retail. She's been using social media to connect with others since 2010. First as a stay-at-home mom looking to connect with other young moms, and then as a business owner. She has built her current business locally from the ground up on Instagram, creating engaging content and connecting with other local power partners that has even led to national press. Megan has been a member of the Walnut Creek chapter since 2017. And that's Megan there in the middle. And then the third presenter will be Sabrina Axe. She's a solo attorney in Walnut Creek, specializing in special education law and advocacy. She's been an attorney for 15 years and recently opened her own firm last August. She has learned how to leverage social media to improve her firm's digital presence and network with others across the country. She also serves as a social media chair for PWRG, give her a hand, and creates the content and manages content strategy for PWRG, the social media pages. Sabrina has been a member of both the Pleasant Hill and the Walnut Creek chapter since 2019. All right, ladies, take it away. Can't wait to hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am very excited to be one of the panelists here today. And I'm going to be talking about the importance of social media. So before we get started, though, has anyone ever felt completely overwhelmed by the concept of social media and feels like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, and it feels like a lot and overwhelming? Can I see a few hands? Have you ever been there? What do I do? Help. So you come to the right place. I am going to, along with my other speakers today, we're going to break it down and give you some simple tactics that you can do regardless of your experience in social. Maybe you don't have something, maybe you have a little bit of something, or even if you are using social currently, I'm sure you're going to take something away from today that you can implement right away. So is it really that important? Do I need to have social media for my business? Well, spoiler alert, yes, you do need to have social media. The good news, it's not that hard to do. And there's some basic steps you can take to make a really big impact to your business. So why do I need it? Okay, so yes, it's important, but why? A lot of times you feel like I don't have extra time in my day. I feel overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm doing. It's too time consuming. We're going to break it down, like I said, and explain why and how social media really has become a baseline expectation to be on those platforms for your business. And the good news is some simple steps can drive and grow your business. And that's ultimately what we're here for. We want to talk about how we use it to grow the business, not just be on social media to be on social media, but understand why, how, and how that's going to impact your business. I think it's important to remember the concept that people do business with people, not companies. And I think all of you here probably understand that at some degree for your own business. And social media is an avenue to do that. It is inherently a personal connection and a social connection avenue. So this is a way to connect to people on a person-to-person level. I'm going to talk about three main areas that is important as to why you should be on social media: to connect, to market, to find you. Those are kind of the three main categories I will be covering. And a lot of it is doing what you already do in person, but you're just doing it in an online and a virtual platform. Connection is so important. We already said it's doing that social personal thing, right? So you can use social media to connect with your clients and your prospects. So your current clients and your potential leads. There's a few ways we do that. It humanizes your brand. You get to show up as a person and not just a business. It helps to also foster authentic relationships. The more you interact and share, the more they get to know you. Your followers get to know you. They feel like it is an actual relationship. Customer service. People are starting to turn to social media for customer service interaction more than they ever have before. Sometimes they even go to a messaging service, direct messages, even before they pick up the phone to call you or send you an email. People are expecting customer service to be provided there. And this is an opportunity for you to provide the stellar customer experience and customer service. They expect it. And then also with connection is communication. It's a really great way to get information out quickly, easily, and have a dialogue with people. I'd like to give you an example for JetBlue. They have used their social media platforms to connect with their client base. And they originally, when they first came out, if you guys think back a few years ago, they were sort of known as a cheaper airline. But they started using social media pretty early on to leverage and present their brand, to build their brand. One of the areas they did it was in humanize their brand. They had a huge outage over a Valentine's Day weekend a number of years ago, and the CEO went on YouTube and he did a completely unscripted, authentic, honest apology, taking responsibility for what happened, and it ended up strengthening their brand. People took to it. They've also used it significantly for customer service. Twitter has been their platform for customer service. And if you kind of glance through some of those tweets, you will see them directly talking to their folks, like saying, I can send you a confirmation code, or, thank you for flying with us tonight. They are making a big company small with one-to-one human interaction. There's even a story that talks about where there was a passenger who was on one of their flights, and he was seated next to a beautiful girl, and he was nervous and he didn't know if he should talk to her. And Twitter their JetBlue social team jumped on Twitter, responded back, and encouraged him to strike up a conversation. So that kind of support and showing that they have interest in the humans that are flying with them is what helped elevate that connection part of social media and their brand. Let's talk about how it works for some marketing. Marketing your business. First category I would say is brand building. It is an awesome place to drive awareness and recognition of you and who you are. The more you engage, the more you post, the more people are going to start to identify your name, your brand, and who you are. Now, it is important to make sure you're staying consistent with your brand identity. So your logos, your fonts, your voice and tone, your personality, and your style. It also is an opportunity to build authority and trust. You post in a way that elevates your expertise by showing educational segments or some testimonials, and you're just continuing to build that brand and your authority. People are gonna be like, oh, I know that person and they know what they're doing. You can also reiterate things like your differentiating factors. What makes you stand out? What value do you add to their lives? And you sprinkle these things in, and it is all building your brand. You can also use it to promote and profit, some products and promotion information that goes out there. Show and link to your services in a non-advertising and organic way. Because remember, we're doing this person to person. We're not trying to make it all bling advertising. We're trying to show that authentic personal connection on products and promotions. It's lead generating. If you think about every view, every reach, every connection, interaction that you have is a lead potential. This will help you to grow your network of leads. And you think about how you get leads now and how do you talk to them? You're doing the same thing. You're just doing it online. Everyone always asks about, what about paid ads? Because do I need paid ads to do marketing? I'm going to just kind of go out there right now and say, you need to start with your organic presence first. Down the road, you might consider paid, but I wouldn't worry too much about that right at the onset if you're a little bit newer to marketing. I'd like to give you an example of the marketing side using Atlanta Chiropractic. Dr. Lisa New, she is part of our Concord chapter, and her brand was designed by Lisa Bond, who's also in our Concord chapter of Buttonwood Creative. This is a great example of, remember I mentioned keeping things consistent with brand identity, fonts, and styles, showing and building the brand in alignment with what she always says and has to offer. Building education and authority with education and some prompts. So I wanted to kind of highlight that. Another example that I had to give you some concepts on promoting product, communication, and customer service is a local plant and gift shop here in the town that I live in. It's a woman-owned business, and she often presents new products by just taking a quick picture of it, putting it up and saying, hey, we got a new thing, we got a new plant, we got a new candle, communicating, hey, our shop's going to be closed because we're completely worn out from Valentine's Day. Customer service, yes, that's my yellow door. They communicated with me about an invoice and a delivery and took a picture and said, hey, it's on your doorstep right now. So they have really used a variety of these tactics to connect with their customers in different ways and present their business. Last but not least is social media is really important for people to find you. Now, previously, your website was generally considered in the digital space your front door. That is where people went first to start finding you online. Interestingly enough, we've started to see a bit of a shift.
I'm going to get my nails done in an hour. Can I call you back?
If you don't mind muting yourself, that would be great. We've got a couple of folks who are not muted. So search. Social media is often hit. They'll go to your Instagram before they even hit Google or Yelp or the website, which is maybe surprising to some people, but it's true. Think about your own behavior. Links and tags, connections, comments, tags between you, other users creates visibility and creates ways for people to start seeing you and identifying you and finding you. And then search ranking or search engine optimization. So this is organic ways that search engines like Google find you. We don't know exactly what those fancy algorithms are that are behind it, but we do know that having a social media presence does help ranking in some way. So if you're one of those people like, yeah, I kind of want to boost my search ranking, and your SEO, it is a factor. Okay, so you said I need it. Where do I need to be? Where do I go? There's too many platforms. Which one should I use? I don't have time to support 10 different social media platforms. You choose the platforms that are ideal for you and where your ideal clients spend most of their time. So start there. If you only need to pick 1 or 2 platforms, you find the ones where your clients are hanging out and you put your time and investment there. I'm going to briefly run through these. So if you need to take pictures or screenshots of it, I encourage you to do so. I will not be reading every word on these slides. Facebook, #1 platform for adults. You get that 18 to 50-year-old kind of segment, and a lot of people are on there. Instagram has become one of those places where people are finding new products and services. 83% of users say they found new products and services on Instagram. So new products and services, discovery is happening on Instagram. LinkedIn, if you are a B2B type of business and you are mostly selling to other businesses, LinkedIn is that professional platform for your B2B opportunities. Twitter, because of its easy access to the businesses, it has become pretty top on that customer service segment that we talked about and gave you a couple of examples on. Here are a few others that I'll just mention. Pinterest, visual search and shopping. YouTube, how-to guides and entertainment. Heavy on males on the YouTube side. TikTok and Snapchat, definitely more on the teen and young adult segment. We are seeing TikTok rise a little bit in age since people were bored during the pandemic. These are not the final end all. These are some examples of how you bring all this knowledge together. So if your target is young moms, you're probably going to want to be on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Those are your top ones, right? And you can kind of see how these examples break down. Finally, this is another great grid that I wanted to show you based on different types of businesses and whether or not the platform is ideal. It depends on your strategy or if it's not ideal. So you can kind of grab where you are in this and say where you probably should be. A few years ago, businesses had a choice of whether or not they wanted to be in social media. And now we've kind of arrived to the place that it's not an option anymore. Jeff Rogovan, I don't know how to say his name. I'm probably slaughtering the name. He is co-founder of Buddy Media, and they evolved into the largest enterprise social media platform, said this quote, "Brands that ignore social media will die." It's that simple. And I know will die is probably pretty strong. I might personally modify that right now to say may die, will likely die. But the reality is you have to take a step into social media at some degree to stay relevant in this digital world that we're operating in today. So that's my overview of why you need it. Hopefully that's encouraged you to get started, to connect, to market, and for people to find you. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and hand off to Megan, who's going to take the second piece of this presentation.